I am that I brought this challenge to heal. Now, let's talk about not my ears, but let's talk about perhaps my pickles. No, let's have a quick conversation about my last day. Let's have a quick recap over the past 25 days and why it was 25 and not, you know, 21 eventually. And let's start right away with the idea of so today it's Friday. It's one of the heaviest days of the week. I really felt like, wow, it was a tough week. I slept really bad. There's pollen in the air. It's super tough for me to breathe, apparently. And I haven't had pollen allergy for a very long time. So I really recognized like, man, it's frustrating for me. I cannot sleep, fall asleep, etc. So right. So that was basically today. I woke up in the morning, did my classes, had clients, a lot of successes again. Like today was a very successful day. I saw a lot of people growing and improving. Made me really, really happy to see people improve and, grow what they're doing. All throughout the day, busy, busy, busy. And eventually a good friend of mine, in fact, the mom of my godson had her birthday today. So we went there in and out. Finally made it back home. So there wasn't really much time for me to get distracted or choose distractions. But of course, you can still always find ways if you want to. Now, really quickly, a recap on this challenge primarily, just for the sake of this video log. Again, I want to highlight these video logs are primary for me, a purpose to keep myself accountable. Because again, for challenges, there needs to be an accountability system. Otherwise, it's very difficult to pull through. These video logs, daily live video logs here on YouTube, connecting with this amazing community here, was one of the ways that I kept myself accountable. Over the past 25 days, I had 4 days where I failed. 2 days of them was basically because I didn't do the check-in here, the accountability system. The other two was one deliberate, the other one not so deliberate, because I really wanted to watch a movie with my partner. And that was very important to me, and I really noticed like, hey, that's taken away a lot of the quality of the being together because we really enjoy watching a quality movie. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, I recognized because I wasn't distracted all the time, I was available in my relationship. I recognized that all throughout the whole experience, what I noticed is that I am available much more in my relationship with my partner. I can listen more. I'm more attentive. I'm not on my phone when I'm talking to her. So there's a lot of incredible benefits which I recognize that are super, super awesome for me to experience. There's a lot more space in my head, but again, I'm reaching a little bit ahead. So that was basically the main objective for me, was to get out of that distraction zone, getting really, getting my head free again. And most of all, for me, the objective was to check in and see how does it how does it feel if I was to get the major players of distraction and entertainment out of my life for 21 days. That was the challenge, which I'm concluding today. And so to the benefits, right? The benefits are space. Just to give it one word, mental space. There's so much more space to process stuff. When I'm not continuously occupied, right? Occupied with reading, watching stuff, texting, consuming, playing, whatever, just always on screen. If I am not in the screen, what then? I'm available. I can do whatever. I am just free. My space is free. My capacity, my mind is free, right? And so that really showed a lot for me in my relationship, first and foremost. Because where before we hanged out, she would come across like to my flat and perhaps chill here on my couch with me. And maybe on a very tough day, both of us just crash on the couch. Eventually, what would happen is I was on screen, she was on screen. We didn't really meet each other. We didn't really feel each other, right? What we really did was just spend some time in the same space, but we didn't really connect. And so now me really sharing, like putting away all those distractions out of my life, what I would notice, hey, she's there, she's available, I'm available. She's mostly available if I'm available. Usually, that's kind of like the problem. So that was one of the major benefits out of this challenge. I just noticed like I'm so much more available in my relationship as well. Not just that, focus rises, productivity skyrockets. It's incredible what you suddenly can do and process and work around if there's nothing to keep you busy. If you're not continuously in a screen here, in a screen there, in a screen everywhere, right? And I'm working online. I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of the most privileged people on the planet. I can work online, can work from everywhere, but there is a downtime to that. Because I can work from everywhere, I am bound to a screen, meaning I'm just always having to look into that screen. And that's where the initial notion, the initial impulse came from me. I really have to get my head out of the screen, at least for once. I really want to know, how is that going to feel like? And of course, I was still on my phone. I was still connecting with people. Obviously, there were still screens, but so much less, honestly, right? So again, those were very tangible benefits. Let's talk about. I really want to share, for the sake of this last video of this challenge, I want to share quickly what was the tough times. And something that I didn't expect was the amount of pain, suffering, emotional distress that I would suddenly have to deal with. Where before I was, it's funny how people are leaving the moment I start to talk about emotional distress. So, where before I was occupied, right? I was busy. I was giving myself that pleasure button, games, books, social media, series, whatnot, you name it, right? This is a live, by the way, you guys. Okay, I'm doing this live, and I'm straight here talking, to the camera. This is an availability for me. I'm talking to myself. If you want to join, that's great. If you want to take something from it, even better. If not, all fine. There's the door. Okay, so I'm talking to you guys. If you want to listen, otherwise, find somewhere else. So I really would like to just bring that to the point where I recognized that all that stuff that I was bypassing with screens and pleasure and entertainment, that would rise because of this challenge. I suddenly had to face all of it and full force, right? So there was days, and my partner can probably tell you a story about it, where I just literally didn't know what to do with myself because I was sitting on the couch. I didn't want to work. I didn't want to draw or prepare any tattoos for future clients, or I don't know, craft anything, I didn't have anything to do with myself. And obviously what happened was all that pent up frustration, all that unresolved stuff that I was still carrying on my back, right into my face. And I couldn't take the pill. I could, but I chose to follow this routine, to follow this challenge. And because of that, I suddenly had to face it. I couldn't just, run into the next screen and watch a series, watch any books, or I don't know, whatever I did, right? So that's certainly a downtime. Just want to recap this. If you're ever going to choose to try and leave entertainment, etc., it really helps for you to understand it's an incredible experience. It really opens your mind to the possibility what you can really achieve. You see, what I recognized throughout this experience, throughout this challenge, is that all these screens, what they're doing is also why the thumbnail, by the way, what they're mostly doing is pacify your mind. Okay, every single time that I'm watching into a screen, I'm pacifying my mind. My mind is occupied. It's really what it means, meaning it cannot be occupied for something else. We're talking about stressful or agitating thoughts, okay, depression, etc. So if my mind cannot process these things because it's occupied, that makes me feel what? Calm, peaceful to some degree, but occupied. It's not a peace that I have created. It's a peace that comes from an outside source, something that occupies me, right? That goes in. So that's something that I really recognized. Man, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be an addict to pleasure this way, right? I really want to be myself. I want to be able to, to face my shit, to face whatever is coming up and then deal with that. And that was certainly one of the toughest times throughout this challenge. I had to face so many days where I was just suffering. I was just dealing with whatever came up. There was sadness, there was loneliness, most of all. There was a lot of distress, a lot of frustration, anger, shit that I couldn't deal with, right? I know this is where it gets tough. People are leaving. People were probably coming back when I'm talking about the good shit. So, anyway, for the sake of this video, this is very important. I found, yes, I want to be doing that. And that's where we can truly pick up. And that was another beautiful insight. That's when we can truly pick up the responsibility for ourselves again. That lives inside of me. That frustration, that sadness, the loneliness, whatever is living in there, also the good shit, but it's still in me. And I am the only person in the world that has truly the possibility to face it. I can take coaches, I can take books, I can utilize whatever media or any source. The one person that still has to do the work at the end of the day is me. And I tried to hide from it for a very long time, not even knowing that I was hiding from it. And so that was really the toughest times for me. I really had to face a lot of learned helplessness, right? And just as a disclaimer, I'm a fitness and a mental trainer. I'm doing this in self-study. I'm exposing my weaknesses here in terms of my business and my profession, etc., right? But just so you know, eventually I came to the conclusion, this is absolutely worth it. I really want to share more of that to more people. The consensus today with a good friend of mine, a great conversation, was that finally there's nothing that we have to add in terms of technique, in terms of practice, in terms of financial expenses, stuff that we have to buy, blah, blah, blah. We don't have to add anything for this sort of idea, what we're doing here. We actually have to let go of things and kind of like subtract, take away from, right? And all we have to do is just take away all that busyness and look what's going to happen. Anyway, I don't want to keep you occupied, future self, watching this video with my rant. But I really think it's important for us to understand, finally, it's not about adding, but actually letting be and deal with whatever is here and now, as opposed to, I'm going to meditate my problems away. I'm going to do this and that diet. I'm going to go on a retreat. I'm going to put myself into whatever stasis, trying to, just get my mind again out of the bottle, as opposed to dealing with whatever shit is remaining in the bottle. Okay? So, last words, final words. An absolutely life-changing experience, which I've never actually thought of that it's going to be that way. When I started this challenge, it was a flux. When I started it, I was fed up with myself to a degree which I could not put into words. So I said, like, okay, I have to cut this. I have to change. So I said to myself, spontaneously, I'm going to commit to a 21-day challenge. Here it is. This is the last day. I've pulled through. Let's look into the future. I am going to stick to this practice. That's for sure. 100%. And I mean, I will probably give myself every now and again a little movie with my partner, cuddling, nice on the couch, maybe something delicious to eat. But in general, I do not want to lose this space, this peace of mind that I have been able to acquire now by simply not being on screen all the time. I will also commit to a check-in about 10 days from now, or perhaps like 7 days from now, where I'm going to share with myself or whoever's want to watch this as to what happened after the challenge, right? After the whole pressure and the expectation of showing up daily, video log, etc. What has happened to me after this time, say like a week from now? Have I been able to stick to what I said? Have I been able to continue what I've, implemented now? Have I been able to remain away from this distraction, the entertainment, the pleasure inducement through screen? Have I been able to? So in about 7 to 10 days from now, I'll be recording a video, probably live, simply because I'm too lazy. I just want to be straight in the face. I'm here. It's raw. It's just me. If you don't like, it's fine. So about like 7 to 10 days from now, I'll be checking in, and it's going to share a quick checkup as to what was the aftermath of this life-changing experience for me, and perhaps some insights, some reflections, right? And then another thing that's probably coming up next week is the next challenge because I really love challenges. I always enjoyed that, right? I'm learning the best, I'm growing the most when I'm doing challenges. So I've started this now and it has felt incredibly good. I haven't really used my YouTube channel for a long time. So now I'm going to use it for challenges. Fun, nice. The next challenge that I'm going to do, also with daily check-ins, probably a little earlier, is going to be an optimum health challenge. I'm not really sure about the length yet because I want to keep it tangible. I don't want to like stretch it too far. But the optimum health challenge is going to tackle the idea of health as an institution. Most people are identifying health with the idea to eat healthy, maybe to sleep good, certainly to do some exercise, but nobody really talks about fun and enjoyment. Most people are vague when it comes to what really feels good, life enjoyment. So optimum health challenge is going to be about how to implement the proper sleep that elevates my life experience, how to implement a diet that supports my quality of experience here in my body, also how to do training and fitness on a level that really supports me and not just, takes away time and, energy eventually for muscle mass that really doesn't serve anything. And lastly, number 4, it's going to be about how to implement fun and joy, a mindset of enjoyment that doesn't necessarily need anyone to, press the button around pleasure all the time, right? Okay, so I've seen, because this is the last video, I see there's a lot of comments, and I usually don't do the interaction so much because again, this is like a daily video log that I'm doing mainly for me. But okay, for the sake, because there's a couple of people here in the chat room, so I can see that Shinukami is asking me to interact with you. Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure to share with you guys. And just for the sake of whoever is listening here, it is a pleasure for me to share. I'm a little more present on other social media platforms. Usually it was Instagram, it was Facebook, it was LinkedIn a lot. But then I did, again, a little challenge of mine where I went away completely off of social media and haven't really posted much. So this is actually me. You're the first people right now to see me entering back into the social media area. Okay. So Shinukani and Huanaks and I don't know, there's a lot of other people. Has been a pleasure to share this last video with you. Okay. It's the end. You can also go and watch into my YouTube channel. You can see basically every single video that I've done on this channel. Some of it is perhaps a little disturbing because I've been really raw, right? You guys, I'm doing this for me. And if somebody finds it interesting, that's great. Otherwise, I'm happy if nobody cares. It's all fine. But if you're interested, if you want to learn a little bit more about this challenge now that it's over, you can go into my channel and there's a live section, right? And you can basically watch every one of those. They shouldn't really be much longer than 10 to 15 minutes. Maybe 1 or 2 is. This one certainly is going to be. And from there on, you guys, I really wish you all the best from the bottom of my heart. I really hope that you are going to choose your life quality, whatever that means to you, that you are going to enjoy what you're doing because time's ticking, right? You may as well do a lot with it, enjoy a lot of it. And yeah, so long. Thank you so much for having been here tonight for this very last one. I like those guys, honestly. Okay, that was it. Bye. Take care.